What are we doing?
Dude, I don't know.
You need a hug? All right, let's do it.
So I was doing some research,
It's like therapy for us. You're just easing into not having much time on your hands.
and I'm stoked for the journey. What's up, everybody? My name is Brian, too cool for school with glasses on Boyd.
I'm just plain Jane, the Zach Gittler.
And we are two dads on a...
Mike.
Yeah, we're back, we're live, we're episode 17. Just really quick, you guys know where to find us. iTunes. You can find us on Anchor, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, the number 2 dads on a mic. Please make sure you rate us, review us, leave us comments. We love the feedback. Anything to add to that, buddy?
I think that's it. Straight to the point.
Yeah, how you doing, man?
Good, man. Same old. Working hard, staying busy, having fun, living life, man. How about you?
Oh, dude, I'm chilling. You can tell I'm chilling today.
You're chilling.
It's summertime.
It's summertime.
You know? And I felt like summertime, I gotta wear some shades.
It is nice. It is nice.
Yeah, I got the white on black. What do you think?
It's stylish, man. Maybe next episode I might have to sport those and see what people like better. Who can wear them better?
Oh, dude, you killed me.
Who knows? All right. Topic of today, ladies and gentlemen, is what, Bri?
Questions.
What do you mean by questions?
So, think about this, right? You're growing up, you're 5, 6, 7 years old, you ask questions. And what's the typical, you've got a 3-year-old, right?
Yes.
What's that 3-letter word that your daughter probably asks you all the time?
Got a snack?
That's a 3-word.
She doesn't say...
Why? Does she do the whys yet? Why,
yeah.
Dad? Why?
Yeah, not yet. Not yet. Not too much yet. All the questions she asks are, I want a snack. I don't want to is the big one right now.
That's a statement.
When she's crying and fit throwing,
Yeah.
I don't want you. No, I don't want you. It's like, it's bad. It's like
Yeah.
nails on a chalkboard to us.
Well, you're gonna get to the why stage.
Yeah.
Right?
And I
If
feel
you're
like
going to say something that she'll be like, why, Dad? Well, why? Why does that happen?
And when you get to it, I feel like I've seen it before with kids. You can never give them the right answer.
Right.
Because they'll just always fire back why. But you know what's funny is don't adults do that? Isn't that like a tactic of like getting you out of your bubble? Of like saying like, oh, you don't like to go swimming. Why? Well, because it's dark. But why?
So the strategy is, and with adults, like if you're someone's boss or if you're trying to really dive deep on a topic, the theory or the strategy is you should ask the why question 5 times to their first answer. So let's say if I was like, hey Zach, who's your favorite baseball player?
Kirby Puckett.
Why?
Because he played for the Minnesota Twins.
Why?
Because I'm from Minnesota.
Why?
I love Minnesota.
Like I'm getting deeper and I'm really getting an understanding of why Kirby Puckett is your favorite baseball player, right? It's like embedded in you because that's where you're from.
Yeah.
So, but I think kids just do it because they're so damn curious.
Yeah, I think that's the learnings. That's the stages of like just the sponge.
Yeah.
It's like it's dry and they just want to soak it up, and I don't think you can give them enough water.
So then we move from the why questions and we go fast forward about, 7, 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
What do you think the first question is that the 7 and 8-year-olds ask their parents?
Wait, no, I'm talking like moving 7, 8 years ahead of when they were asking the why. So now we're talking like 13, 14.
True. Middle school.
Yeah, middle school.
So what are they getting access to? Drugs?
Right.
The world of social media that we didn't live up in is just a whole other world. So what stuff are they...
Drugs, sex, and rock and roll, baby.
Yeah. That's pretty much the categories.
Yeah. So we thought this would be a really cool episode to tackle because, we've hit a lot of different areas with, younger kids and parents as like just kind of being parents, but now we're hitting the teens, man. The teens. I mean, do you remember being a teenager?
I do. I remember middle school very well. I remember that vividly, just massively. I went to middle school at sixth grade. I was the first class of 6th grade that the school introduced.
Oh.
So it was 7th to 8th middle school, and then our year was the first. So we were like really freshmen at a middle school.
You were like fresh cheese.
Yeah, and it was not fun because I grew up with an older brother, and growing up with an older brother who was known, you just got picked on. In our day and age growing up, man, it's getting beat up and stuff in lockers and stuff, and chased down was a big thing, and I got chased and beat up a lot.
It's made you the man you are today.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. I see those dudes now, they try to be friendly with me, and I'm like, what's up, dude? I'm like, fuck you. I'm like you're at where you're at because of a reason.
That's right.
Your life sucks, doesn't it?
That's right. So, so I remember. Oh, so mine was a little different. I didn't have a middle school. I was junior high.
Yeah, well, that's what. Yeah, junior.
But
high.
junior high in Utah is 7, 8, 9.
And then high school.
And then high school is 10, 11, 12.
See, I like that. I like that.
So I hated middle school, man. Dude, it was so awkward for me. And I had just gotten braces.
Yeah.
I was like 4 foot nothing. I weighed like 95
You weighed the
pounds,
same
dripping
amount you
wet.
weigh right now.
Yeah, seriously. But I didn't look near as cool or good. And the puberty was hitting in, and my hair was like wavy, but it wasn't curly.
Yeah.
And dude, it was awkward. I didn't know how to talk to girls.
Yeah.
I didn't really have like a core set of friends. It was awkward,
You play
man.
sports? You did.
I played baseball up until 8th grade, and then I switched and I started soccer in 9th grade, and then that's kind of when I found my way. But so awkward learning about yourself and your body, and not knowing how to ask those questions that you should ask.
And what was one of those questions you remember? Hey, Dad.
Hey, Dad. Well, the thing is, so I never asked my parents those questions. Did you?
No.
I never asked my dad what a boner was.
I don't remember. I don't even remember when that happened to me. Like what age?
I just remember in 5th grade, all the kids thought it was funny to call it a renob. And I was like, I don't even get it. What's a renob? And they're like, duh, you don't know what a renob is? And I'm like, no, I don't know what a renob is. And they're like, it's a boner backwards.
I do kind of remember that as the verbiage. But yeah, I think our what sucks is our days growing up, it just wasn't not accessible, or I just think parents weren't open to let questions in. I think it was just like the groundwork they laid prior. It wasn't not okay, but just you were scared to.
Yeah.
I think I was scared to ask.
It was intimidating.
Oh yeah, big time.
But I think still today it's intimidating.
Yeah, and that's how you raise the kids. I mean, I think you ask these questions. Let's say if it was about drugs, I'm gonna get in trouble.
Right.
That's all you think about. I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna get in trouble, and I don't want to. I hate being grounded. I hate my whatever getting taken away. But I think, as we've talked in previous episodes, is how you raise your child. And I'm definitely gonna raise my child just like anything is open. Anything. I'm happy to live the life that I live because I've done so much that any question that comes my way, I'm at least gonna have an answer for her or what I want her to go about.
So I think this is where you kind of it gets tricky, right? And it's this tricky situation because you're open to it, like you're open, like I will be an open book for my daughter. But how do you navigate, and how do you think you're going to navigate getting her to understand that? And this is good advice for parents out there that might be in this current situation. Like I'm embarrassed to have this conversation with my kid. I don't know what they're going to think about me, or are they even going to open up to me? Are they going to talk to me? And so that fear of like, what are they going to think of me, or anything like that? So what do you think with your kid? Because I mean, I got a newborn, right? So I'm a little not sure yet, but you got a kiddo that's 3, 4. She's a three-nager. She's already in that teenager. But what are you going to do?
Dude, she can navigate through YouTube right now. She can navigate through Netflix, and she all around. So I think when that time comes to pre-teenager or whatever, they're gonna have more knowledge than we will. But I think I'm in that world of being around social media and technical stuff. So I'm gonna have I think a little bit more than someone's like 9 to 5 going to whatever job that is that has nothing to do with it. So, but kids have as we all know, have so much access to so much stuff that once they get to that age, you think what your kids are looking at, whatever, but you don't know, and they're gonna have a lot more knowledge than you think they do.
Yeah.
So,
which is kind of scary. They may have more knowledge on it than you do, actually.
For sure. Oh, 100%.
Especially with all the new things that are coming out.
100%. So I think if we just keep eyes on the important side of just, how you can regulate what they have access to. So they just, I don't know. I mean, but then again, you don't have control over so many things. So
I came across when we were, looking at this topic, thinking about it, kind of researching, I came across this article by The Stir, cafemom.com, and they talk about a recent study that says 37% of boys and 46% of girls actually want to talk to their parents and ask questions about love, relationships, and sex. And then they did another study and it found that 44% of teens aren't satisfied just talking to their friends. Which is interesting because, you know, when I remember thinking like, who do I talk to about these weird questions? Like, I remember the first time someone was like, hey man, you want to smoke a bowl? And I was like, a bowl? Like, how do you smoke a bowl? Thinking like they would say like a bowl of weed, and I was like, God damn, like that's a lot of weed. I'm just thinking like that's a ton of weed, man. Like, what do you mean smoke it? And how do you smoke it? Like, what do you do if it's in a bowl? Because I was literally thinking a bowl. So then I didn't go home and be like, hey mom, so someone asked me if I wanted to smoke a bowl. What does that mean?
Yes, I know what you mean. Middle school is when I got exposed to weed, and same thing. I think it was an apple the first time I tried it in the woods.
See, you're like light years ahead of me because I didn't know the apple thing till like 11th, 12th grade.
Yeah.
I wasn't really in tune with that world.
Did your parents, were they involved with weed at all?
No.
Did you know at that time at all? Like,
no. I didn't even understand what marijuana was. And I had no...
Interesting.
I honestly, the way I thought was, I'm not even going to ask my parents because they're probably not even going to know because they don't talk about things like this.
See, I think I knew it, so I knew what it was, and if I would have asked a question, because of hip-hop music. Because hip-hop music was huge to me, my boys, back in middle school, big time. Like, big time. So that was always, like, inside there, so you always want to follow whatever these people are doing, just like you kids do now. But yeah, I mean... I never asked my parents about weed, but I got caught smoking weed.
Oh.
And that was...
What age?
Middle school.
Oh, wow.
I got caught...
By who?
How did I get caught? So I skipped school one day with two other friends, went to a friend's house, and we're down in their basement pool hall area thinking, literally, this is how stupid I was, and I know kids still are. Like, let's go to your friend's house and smoke weed in the basement. In their house. I remember this vividly, looking out in the basement, it was flooded with smoke. And like, oh, no one's gonna find out, we'll just air it out, put a fan with doily things in the fan and smell it, whatever.
Yeah.
And then the next day, I went to school and I got called on the, like, I forgot what the person's name is that like talks to kids when they're having troubles, whatever.
Counselor?
Yeah, they call me down to the, like, we know you skipped school, your parents know, and you must go home right after school. So after school, I didn't go home. I like just didn't go on the bus. I just like wandered around the neighborhood.
Because you knew you were just done.
I was in trouble.
Yeah.
And I like finally like 5 o'clock called from a payphone. Like I'm at a payphone.
You called them from a
payphone. My mom and dad and like on my payphone. I come home. Right when I get home, I hear this voice from downstairs. My dad goes, "Come downstairs right now." And I talk to him. And at this time, I had no idea my dad ever dabbled in weed.
Okay.
So, you know, got grounded for like a month, you know.
Did he talk to you about it?
Nope. Yeah, I know. This is the difference from our generation to pre.
I don't know if it is. I don't know if parents are talking to their kids about these things if they find out about it or prior to them finding out about it. I don't know if they are or not.
I do believe that any parents watching that, if you don't and your kid's growing up, or even, it's never too late to connect with a child. Ever. If you're 35, you're 25, life is very short. Or can be short. So you got to maximize the time you spend with your kids. The more connection you can do with them is so important. So if there are, you know, adults out there or parents that aren't, do it. Educate. If you're not educated, then have your kid educate you and like dive deeper. I mean, like, as you said with the statistics, it's like, it's crazy. I mean, our kids are so connected with us, even though they butt heads and push us away. We are the most connected with them than anybody.
Right.
You know, it just might not seem like that, but like as years go on, as you know, from being young to older, it is. So educate your kids, connect with your kids, talk about whatever. Who cares?
Well, and I think that's what that study shows, that the kids, the majority of kids, right, they actually do want you to talk to them because they trust you. At the end of the day, your kids probably trust you more than they trust anybody else. Now, I'm sure there's some families out there that's maybe not the case because there's some crazy ass parents out there. And if you are one of those crazy ass parents, then shape your shit up.
Uncrazy.
Uncrazy yourself.
Get a DeLorean and go back 5 years. Okay? Mentally.
But seriously, I think, you know, that you are. I would have been very uncomfortable if my mom would have come into my bedroom and been like, I want to talk to you. This is probably going to be an uncomfortable conversation, but I just want to talk to you about it because I want you to be safe and I want you to be smart. Let's talk about marijuana. Let's talk about drinking. Let's talk, because dude, I mean, I took sips off my parents' liquor cabinet. I know they tracked the bottles. I know they knew I was underage drinking. They caught me underage drinking, you know?
Yeah, I mean, my parents knew I went to parties and this and that, knew what went down because they were just knowledgeable. But even crazier, we never had booze in our house. Ever.
Oh, we had a full bar.
But my dad was a full-fledged alcoholic.
Oh, wow.
Crazy. And I didn't find this out till way later in life, like 20s plus. It's nuts. But we also, as you said, there were parents, and I'm curious, I would ask my friends now, the more we do these podcasts, that their parents knew that if kids are going out, let's say in high school, actually, this was junior high, that they're going to drink. So if they're going to do it, this is such a touchy subject of like, if the kids are going to go out and drink in the woods and do whatever, is it better to just let them do it in their house and have an adult present? This is such a touchy subject.
Yeah.
It's so, or go away, but secretly no, because there were parents out there that did know and were okay with in high school, kids hanging out, knowing drinking was happening.
You're spending the night here. It's like you're not leaving.
Yeah,
you can party here, but you're not leaving.
I remember my senior year, one of the proms or whatever, they all knew. I mean, we were 18, we could get a hotel legally, which we did a couple times. But one time they were like, no, just stay at our house. You guys can all go downstairs. You guys do whatever you want. I'll be upstairs. I know what's going to happen. It's all good.
So that's liability can come in. What if someone got pregnant, or what if someone got hurt, or what if someone got
pregnant? You can't go back to time frame of it happened that day. But if they were to go out I'm hungry on a pizza.
But what if someone even in the house got hurt, right? I mean, broke a leg, or I had a similar situation. We had a friend that he jumped off a couch, hit his head on a light fixture, and sliced his head open. And it was there's liabilities.
I wouldn't let it go down unless, let's say, if that was a situation, it was 3 couples for going to prom. I would say, adults, are we all okay with this? And it's going to be held at my house.
Oh, so you would contact the parents?
Just, I think, for legality. If I knew one of the parents was
That's
oh my God, I hate this parent. I know if something happens, they're going to try to sue me.
Yeah.
Or I would just play the role of I wouldn't even tell my child. I would just say, yeah, you guys, let's just have it here. It's all good. You guys can hang out. Knowing they're going to drink, I would never acknowledge it. Nothing. I would just. So if something were to happen, maybe that would cover me.
I don't know, dude. That is a slippery slope.
It's such a slippery slope.
But I agree with you. If they're going to do it anyway, right? Probably better for them to do it where there is some type of adult supervision.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you got to have that conversation with them before you allow something like that to happen, right? You can't just be like, hey, I don't care if you guys are hanging out at the house and doing whatever, but you're not willing to sit down with them prior to be like, look, if you guys are going to hang out here and have some drinks, this is my expectation. You've got to cover both sides.
Well, this is, as your child grows in my eyes, they're forever in the school of life. So treat it like an 8-year college. What are you teaching your kid? You are the teacher to your child. Your school teaches them one thing, but what you teach them is a whole other avenue that I think so many parents miss out on.
It's like the street skills.
Hence, as we grew up, this wasn't accessible. This is not how we grew up. But parents, I don't think, understand the accessibility they have to mold their child.
Right.
So if you mold their child as they're young to old, I think you won't, because I've had friends that I know they can talk to their parents about anything, even in high school. The ones that literally were like, I know you're going to drink, be safe, and you can, I guess, do it here after if you guys have nowhere to go, or if you're in the shitter and you need to call someone, call me, and I will not tell your parents, kind of thing. I mean, these are, now looking back, they were super cool, but they were onto something that I think parents aren't. Kids have so much more access to things times 50 to what we had.
Well,
so you can't get around it.
One of the things that it brings up in this article is it talks about the one place that kids are going to seek information about these types of things, Reddit.
Yeah.
Because it's a forum. If you guys aren't familiar with Reddit, it's a forum where you can go on and you can literally ask any question in a forum, and you will get the thing that's scary about it is that you don't know who you're getting your advice from, right? You're getting advice from random ass people all over the world that they might be on a mission to just tell you whatever just to fuck with you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So be aware of that. Parents be like, oh, well, my kids go on Reddit and they ask those questions. Well, okay, but where's their information coming from, first of all? And second of all, why aren't you taking the time to not have them get on Reddit and ask you those questions? So some of the questions that it says on here that kids really want to ask their parents. I'll just give you a few of them. Be honest. Did you drink before you were 21?
Oh, that's easy because, I mean, kids are getting younger than ever now.
No, so that's the question that they want to ask their parents.
Oh.
Did you drink before you were 21?
Well, my daughter at 3.5 years old can be like, oh, beer. And I'm like, hey, all right, go grab me a beer. Or oh, that's wine. We've let our daughter, taste wine, like dip the, this. And we also go into like how Europeans grow up. Like their kids are sipping, we're going to be exactly what, kind of the opposite of how I grew up.
Right. And then let's see here. Another one was, what do you really think we're doing behind that closed door?
Oh, meaning like sex?
Yeah. Because think about
Did you ever come home and your parents were having sex?
No. But I came home and my sister would be in her room. Oh, she's gonna kill me. With her boyfriend, and the door would be closed, and my parents would be like, "Open that goddamn door!"
Yeah, I've done that. I witnessed that with my older brother before. Of like, the girl's over, you have to keep the door open.
Yep.
And I remember once. I'll probably watch this. Mom, I came home once, and I'm like, I could hear her. Once.
With your brother?
Well, no, my mom and dad. Only once. But even like me and Jess joke all the time. It's like.
Did you ask her what was going on?
No, hell.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, imagine if you had that relationship.
That's a tough one. But then, yeah, exactly. The relationship you have, like.
But I mean, think of how powerful it would be if you said on our end, like, look, I'm cool with you having a boiler in your bedroom if you want to hang out. That's your space, because that's what your bedroom is, right? It's your space. It's like your getaway from the reality of what's going on in your home. That's why kids and having their own bedroom, I think, is a really good thing. But look, if you're going to be in there, like, I trust you, but this is the reason why I trust you. And this is what I would hope wouldn't happen. If you want to keep the door closed because you want to have private conversations, I get it. But for a kid to come to parents, this is a great question for a kid to ask their parents. What do you actually think is going on behind that closed door?
Yes, at that time that I, knew my parents were doing it, like, I probably would flip it even at how awkward, depending on the age, of just like, if they knew we were doing something, then I would kind of explain. I would have a time of like, we're going to spend a half hour, and we're just going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just education in everything.
And I think that builds trust, right? It really builds that relationship with you and your parent. And then they're going to be more open to coming to you more often.
And that's what I was going to say. I think as Aria grows, I will give always her the benefit of the doubt and keep explaining about, I trust you, I trust you, I trust you. But the day you break that trust, you go back steps and you have to re-earn your trust. That's what I always will give her the benefit of the doubt. Always. Right now at 3.5, in the lying world, I think she's getting a grasp a little bit on it, and we're teaching her because we're like, did you already have a snack with Nana? No. And we know she did. Like, did you have a snack with Nana? All right, don't lie. Lying is when you do not tell us what really happened. She's like, yeah, I did. I'm like, thank you for telling the truth. So now that's being taught right now.
Good.
So once you instill that, I will always I'll give anybody the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Yeah, and my mom always had a great analogy for lying with me, which really sunk in. And if you need help with explaining lying to your kids, my mom would say that trust is like a wall, and it's a brick wall. So every time you tell the truth, you get an extra brick on that wall. But as soon as you lie, that wall can start crumbling down. And it takes a long time to add more bricks to make sure that wall is built back up. So I thought it was a great analogy because it made me really think about how important telling the truth is. And if you can just sit down with your kids and be honest with them, then why won't they sit down and be honest with you? It's got to be two-way. You can't expect your children to be honest with you if you're not willing to have tough conversations and be honest with them, because they are going to know when you're bullshitting.
Yeah, even if it's a parent and there's a 20-year gap or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I mean, like, there's such a bigger picture with the trust world. I agree.
Well, and the cool thing about this is it's really going to take us into our next episode topic, because now that we're talking about communicating with kids and how to do it, we're going to jump into episode 18 is going to be about texting and communicating with your kids in texting, and what research is starting to show on how texting and communication is actually starting to bridge that gap between parents and their kids.
I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, so make sure you're communicating with your kids, talking to them, have those tough conversations.
It's never too late. It's never too late. I don't care if they're 15, just open that door. It's always going to be awkward and whatever. Just do it. You're laying the groundwork for later on in life of just having a potential 20-year split of not talking to your children, to then rekindling it later on in life when it's too late. You know, build that trust, build that connection. It's super important.
It's okay to explain to your kids what a boner is.
Yeah, a grown egg.
Arena.
Hence, I didn't go to school.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us. This is episode number 17. Make sure you find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, the number 2 Dads on a Mic. Write a review, leave us a review, rate us, and share with your peeps. My name is Mr. Brian Too Cool for School Boyd.
And I'm plain Jane Zach Gidler, and we out.